Welcome back, guys, to my YT channel Arsh Dubai. So, friends, today we are going to discuss two most important issue: inequality and climate change. So, inequality and climate change, two sides of the same crisis. We often talk about climate change and economic inequality as two separate problems, but in reality, they are deeply connected. Today, the richest 10% of people globally own around three quarters of the world's wealth, while the poorest 50% own only about 2%. In India, the wealth gap is also enormous. The richest 1% own roughly 40% of the country's wealth, while the poorest half of the population owns only around 6%. But here is the important question: who is contributing the most to climate change and who suffers the most from it? The answer is deeply unequal. The richest people generally have much larger carbon footprints because of luxury consumption, private aviation, large homes, multiple vehicles, and importantly, their investments in carbon intensive businesses. Research has shown that the richest 1% of humanity have been responsible for a disproportionately large share of global carbon emissions, far greater than the emissions of billions of poorer people combined. And the consequences are not equally distributed. Poorer communities often have fewer resources to protect themselves from floods, droughts, heat waves, rising food prices, and extreme storms. Over the last 50 years, more than 90% of deaths from climate related disasters have occurred in low income countries. This creates a vicious cycle. Wealth inequality creates unequal access to resources, unequal resources create unequal vulnerability to climate change, and climate disasters can push already poor family even deeper into poverty. So climate change is not only an environmental issue, it is also an economic and social justice issue. But there is still time to change the direction. Governments can invest in renewable energy, make wealthy individuals and highly polluting corporations contribute more to the transition, protect vulnerable communities, and ensure that economic growth improves people's actual quality of life, not just GDP. The goal should not simply be more wealth, the goal should be fairer opportunities, a healthier planet, and a better quality of life for everyone. Because ultimately, the climate crisis reminds us of one simple truth: we may not all contribute equally to the problem, but we all share the same planet, and the poorest often pay the highest price. So, let's make the people aware and let's protect our climate and let's move forward to